Okay, here's what people need to understand. Now, the whole idea of men controlling, sex, or do women control sex? Do they have the power? Now, honestly, there is no right or wrong answer. It's just a matter of how you look at it. Now, notice how in minority groups that aren't doing too well in America, including black people, if you notice, they have something in common. And what they have in common is that these groups believe that men are the ones that control sex. So if women mess up, based off of pregnancy or STDs or whatever, it's because of men. Now, I want you to notice minority groups that do well and certain segments of white America that do well. Notice what they have in common. They believe that the women control sex. Now, there is no right or wrong. Okay, it's just a matter of how you look at it. It's just a matter of how you explain it and how you rationalize why you feel the way you feel. Now, if you look at the ones at the bottom, think about the reality in your belief that men are the ones that control sex. Now, if men are the ones that control sex, okay, there is no incentive for them to do well because they are getting what they want. Okay, so the women have no say so. It's really the society doing well is purely a function of men. Okay, whether I want to wake up and do well or whether I want to wake up and do shit is irrelevant, because at the end of the day, I'm going to still have the right to have sex. It is what it is. Now, people can say, hey, Pink, I think you're putting too much emphasis on sex. No, not really. From a biological standpoint, that is what you are hardwired to do. Hence the whole idea of boys thinking about sex 24/7. Okay? It is what it is. From a biological standpoint, that is what you are hardwired to do. I don't care what society says and what society says is right and what's wrong. From a naturalist point of view, that is your number one goal. That is what drives men. Okay? The whole idea of going out, and being the best fighter or the best warrior. Why? Because you will have your first pick in women. You will have first dibs on who gets to procreate. It is what it is. Now, what the societies that do well have figured out is they figured out how to exploit man's fundamental need. Or I guess one of his fundamental needs. They figured out how to exploit it to the point where it would not only benefit men, but the women as well. And what they've said is, we are going to decide that the women control what happens. Okay, we are going to say that women are the ones who are responsible for who gets to procreate. Okay, now, what does this mean? It means that men no longer have that power. It means that man has to actually do something to get one of his primal urges met. Okay, he just can't go get it at his own leisure time. He actually has to do something for it. Okay, hence the whole idea of men wanting to be great. Men wanting to accomplish, have something, build wealth. What you see in minority groups that are doing well. Now, what does this mean for the women? Of course, people want to come on and say, oh, you're tying down women, you're putting on the metal chastity belt. But what does this mean? Okay, it means that that woman is going to be able to command a high price, okay, out of men. She pretty much has the whip. She can say, hey, if you want exclusive rights to me, you better be doing this, that, and the third. And men are going to do it. That is the power. So she's able to protect herself because she can control what men want. She can control one of man's primal urges. Okay? It works for both sides. It may seem, I don't want to say barbaric or oversimplified, but it is what it is. Okay? If you look at the lower minority groups who aren't doing well, you'll see that their women are often painted as helpless. They're only as good as the men. Okay? They have no power. The women have no power to command the best out of the men. If you look at black women don't have the power to command black men to do better. But the minority groups that are doing well, the women have that power. The women have that whip, and they will crack it because they know that's what man wants. You know, that's one of the fundamental things that he wants. Okay? But as far as the lower end groups, the women, like I said before, they have no power. The men can come and go as they please because they know they can get one of their fundamental needs met. And like I said, there is no right or wrong. It's just a matter of how you choose to look at how you're going to arrange your society around the whole idea of sex. So, you know, you don't have to believe me, but just look at groups who are doing well. Just look at groups who are doing well. Or just look at women who are in better positions. Okay, a lot of the women I know who are even black are the ones that don't give it up. Okay, you know, the most powerful chicks are the ones who are attractive and the ones who don't give it up. Why? Because so many men desire those women, yet they have the power to say, hey, I control what's going on. But there's too many women in the black community who want to do well, but in their head believe that they don't control it. See, really, it's just a matter of what your own culture says, you know, who controls sex or not. You know, there is no science behind it. It's just one person, you know, one culture believes that the men do, one culture says the women do. Okay? So, in reality, there's nothing really stopping women from saying, hey, we control what's going on. Hence the whole idea of, you know, T-Mont, Sergeant Willie Pete, and a whole host of other men saying that, even Captain Solo, that the women just need to close their legs, and the biggest change in the black community will happen. Because men are simple. Okay, and I know people are going to have, you know, certain feelings about what I'm saying, and they're not going to understand, but just look who's doing well. Seriously, look at the cultures who are doing well, and everything I'm saying will be true. All the cultures that are doing well have hard accountability for their women. Why? Because they have said that you as women control sex. And if you fuck up, you don't have the power, you don't have the whip to whip our men into shape. You guys have the power. You know what I mean? This is like, we want doctors, we want lawyers. Ladies, you need to close your legs. Okay, let's relax. You know, maybe we don't need to, you know, we have enough doctors and lawyers. Let's relax. A couple of you guys can open up your legs. Literally, it's really like that. And it's so simple, but it works. So you guys think about it, right? Tell me how you feel. But you just have to look at life, man. Look at, excuse me, look at the groups who are actually doing well, and look at the groups who aren't doing well. And you will see that the groups that are doing well believe that the women control sex, and the groups that aren't doing too well believe that the men control sex. Take it easy. God bless.